Okay, good morning everyone. So today I'm going to be walking through some command line networking tools, commands that would be helpful in command line if you're a network engineer or want to troubleshoot anything to do with your local network. Okay, so we'll kick off. The first one that everyone's probably familiar with already, Ipconfig. This will show you the IP configuration of any attached network adapters that you have in your machine. And just to expand on that, we have ipconfig/all. Now this is going to show you the same information but in a bit more detail. So with the /all we get the MAC address, we get the configured DNS servers as well, which are probably the two most poignant things that you'd want to search for. Also expanding on the ipconfig, we have ipconfig/release. So this is a way of releasing your current IP addresses if you've received it through DHCP. I'm not going to do that because it's probably going to kick my connection off. And then once you've cleared it with the release command, you then have the ipconfig/renew, which tells your machine to go off and get a new DHCP address. Okay, so following on from that, another handy command we have is ARP. I like to use the -a command. So this will show you everything that's connected to your current network. So I'm currently on the 192.168.0 network, and I can see .3, I can see .12, which I think is my printer, 25, and most importantly .1, which is my default gateway. So this is quite handy if you all seem to be connected to the network but can't reach anything, just to kind of prove connectivity. Another handy command we have is root print. This will show you the routing table of the machine that you're on, both IPv4 and IPv6. So here's the IPv4 routing table. So this can be quite handy in troubleshooting connectivity issues as well. So one instance I had of this was a place where I worked. I worked at the head office location within the UK, and a lot of people used to come to visit the site, and they would stay at the same hotel just down the road. And we had issues of reports of connectivity issues while people were there when they were connecting to their VPN. The problem was that they had on their wireless network, they were using the 10.0.0/8 network. So any network beginning with 10, it would try and route out the wireless, which was overriding the VPN connectivity because we were on a 10 network as well. Yeah, so I actually put a workaround in place for this where I wrote a little batch file. So anyone staying at the hotel would just run the batch file when connected to the VPN, and what that batch file would do would just add a route for our 10 networks going over the VPN interface rather than the wireless interface. So the way that you would do that is with the root add command. So you specify the network that you want to make reachable. So let's say it was 10.16.0.0 with a mask of, let's just say it was a /24. You specify the gateway, which I think in our instance was 10.32.0.1. So this was the IP of the private IP of the firewall once the VPN was connected. And then you specify a metric. So Windows metrics, the lowest is the best. So what we had to do in this instance, we had a metric for the 10 network, and we just had to make it lower than that. So with Windows, you automatically get a metric that's assigned to the interface, and then whichever metric you specify here gets added onto that automatic metric. Yeah, and that's been added. So if we do a root print now, we can see that here is our root. And we specified a metric of 2, so yeah, the interface metric must be 45. So in this instance, this wouldn't work because the roots here are actually lower. There is a way around this. You have to go into your adapter settings, and there is an automatic metric number, and you can just lower that. So if you lowered it to 20, that would now become 22 and overwrite these metrics here. Okay, another handy one I like to use is Netstat. I like to use the -F switch on that, which shows us the fully qualified domain names. And Netstat will show you all the connections on your machine. So everything that your machine's currently talking to. So I found that this can be quite handy when maybe there's a web server that your machine's talking to, but the web page isn't working properly. So you could use this to prove that, okay, yeah, this machine is talking to the server on, port 80. It's established, so the network connectivity is there. The fact that the web page isn't getting delivered, is probably an application issue. So as network engineers, I'm sure most people already know this, but you spend a lot of time actually proving that the problem isn't the network. And these are just some tools that can help you do that. Okay, some other little handy tips just around using command line itself. So if your screen's getting a bit messy, you can use the clear screen function, which is just a CLS, and that just delivers you a nice fresh screen. We also have the ability to change the color of the font. I like to use green on black, and we can do that using the word color, spelt the American way. And then if we just do ZZ, that will give us a list of the colors available. Yeah, so you can see it delivers us 9 numbers and what's that, 6 letters. So the number specifies the background. So in most cases you're going to want 0, and the letter signifies the font color. So if we went for yellow, that would be 0E. Yeah, and that's yellow on black. I like to use green on black, so we'll go for 0A. There we go. And finally, just one last tip. So as a network engineer, sometimes a lot of the stuff that I'm using in command line requires elevated privileges, adding the root command, for instance. So I just like to make sure that the command prompt always opens up in privilege mode. If we just find the command line, yeah, icon, go to properties, go to advanced, and then you can see I've got this ticked here, run as administrator. So that basically means that you can run any commands you want without having to open another one. Okay, I hope this has been informative for you. If it has, please like, share, subscribe, and thank you for viewing.